Hey, I'm back. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that I haven't posted anything in like the last 2 months. I haven't even like recorded music since like June, like straight up. Like I've wrote like a song, but I haven't actually recorded anything in a while, unless it was for like a school project or something that I'm doing in class. And you might be wondering, what's the reason for that? Probably not, because I only have like 350 subscribers or something. So none of you really give a shit about me. But you're probably wondering what the jig is, what the deal is, especially if you know me in person. And I don't know. I think I've just been kind of hit with the realization that maybe doing music as my job is not the move. It just isn't. And that's kind of like a big claim, it's like what made you change your mind, especially if you know me in person, then I was like pretty dead set on this for a while. But I think once you go to school for something you're really passionate about, it really starts to make you realize what it's going to be like to do it as a job. And then that's when you can finally decide like, okay, yeah, I think I'm do or I don't want to do this. But even with that, you really never know until you're working the job. So my perception of what being a musician is still completely skewed because I haven't done it professionally. But one thing that I kind of have done professionally is be a content creator, but I haven't made any money from it. And that's exactly what being a professional content creator is. You do it for like 6 years straight, 5 years straight, something along those lines, and you get absolutely nothing from it until eventually you do. Which is all fine and dandy, but it's not fine and dandy if you treat it like a job when it still isn't your job, which is exactly what I did, and that is exactly why I got burnt out. And even then, once I actually sat back and I analyzed what being a content creator would be like doing it as a living, it just doesn't really seem that appealing. Like the only real skills you would develop by being a content creator are, camera work, video editing, and camera presence. You would know how to write scripts and talk on a camera. And that's all, those are all great skills. And that's probably going to be the field I go into. But I think I want to go into it in more of a professional way than being a YouTuber. And just because, like, with being a YouTuber, everyone and their mother is trying to do it. And it's just not as stable as, working in a real world company would be. Or I guess YouTube kind of is a real world company, but you get what I mean. Then the whole job isn't just online, there's actually like a physical aspect of the job. Like, you're actually doing something. I also started realizing too that even though I can understand concepts like music theory pretty effectively, explaining them is just a whole nother beast. Like for real. Like trying to teach someone about like I don't know, modulations is just so much harder than understanding modulations. So if I had to do that for a living, man, that would be tough. Like that would be really tough to try to break that down to people, which is basically what I was trying to do with my YouTube videos. And it's one of those things where it's like after doing it for a little while, I'm just not sure if it's what I want for the future. You know what I'm saying? Which is exactly why I'm sitting down and making a video right now, surprisingly. Like, this is straight up the most fun I've had making a YouTube video in a while, and it's because I actually want to make a video right now. Whereas ever since like June, I've just been forcing myself to kind of pump out content just to, keep the numbers flowing and just obsessing over views and, attention spans and, the retention rate and all the likes and the dislike. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just obsessing over that. And it's like, that's not healthy for actually growing a channel. Because at the end of the day, this is like an art form. Like, this is supposed to be something I'm doing because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. And I don't want to have to make content. That's it. That's it. I don't want to have to make content. I want to just make it because I like to do it. The exact same way that I don't want my career to be tied to making music because I don't want to have to make music. I want to make music because I like to make music, and I'd rather have my job be separate from that. And I feel like that's just something you don't understand until you're doing it. Like I said, I still don't know what it's like to be a professional musician. So maybe I'd love it. But if it's anything like being a, full-time music student, I don't know if I want that for myself. And that's something you guys should keep in mind too. Like, I don't know, my audience is tiny, so there's probably like 5 of you maybe who are about to go into college out of 300 or whatever, and those 5 of you, think closely about what you want your major to be, because if you major in something you're really passionate about, it's going to turn into work, and once it turns into work, that's when you're going to really find out if you like it or not. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And then there's the whole other side of this, which is, just other life shits happening where sitting down and making videos for no money at all is just not a priority anymore. Like when it comes down to it, am I going to prioritize learning the things I'm learning in school, which I paid for, or making YouTube videos, which I'm not getting paid for at all? Like one, I am spending money on, so that should be my priority. And the other one is something I'm supposed to be doing on the side. So that cannot take priority over the main thing, which is the music school. Got to graduate. I'm paying for the degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But then on top of that, there's just other things on my mind that are just a little bit more important. Like, it's kind of hard to sit down and force yourself to talk about making a bass line in FL Studio when you're constantly questioning whether God is real or not. You know what I mean? Like, there's other things going on. And then on top of that, like I'm on sports teams now. I'm like juggling the gym, talking to like friends. I'm trying to like maintain healthy social connections and shit. I'm trying to like eat food so I don't die. So I can't hustle 24/7 because if I do that, I'm not going to be able to eat food. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Or I guess there's the whole argument that you have to hustle 24/7 to eat food because the price is outrageous. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my personality just doesn't really show through in any of the videos that I make where I script them. Like, if you go back and you watch any of like the last 3 videos I made, they're all scripted. So it doesn't really sound like me talking. It really does sound like I'm reading from a script. And I guess that's something you improve at over time. Eventually, if I keep writing scripts, I'd probably get better at writing them and better at delivering them till it's at the point where I can do it and have it sound like me. But I don't know. I just find it way more enjoyable to just sit down and talk to the camera, just hold up the microphone and go. Because that's what I do in real life all the time. I'm not walking around with a script in front of me. I'm, just conversing with people and expressing my ideas in this free form kind of way, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. And that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do, honestly. So if you subscribed for the top 5 free plugin videos that I was making, I hate to break it to you, but there might not be more of that to come. I don't know. My interests are just changing. There's other things on my mind. And I was kind of treating YouTube like a job, even though it doesn't pay like one, or at least it doesn't yet. So I don't know. It's just unnecessary. I would much rather treat it like a hobby because that's what I actually see it as. And that's kind of the level it should be at in my life. So yeah, if you're thinking about being a content creator, just keep all that in mind. Keep all that in mind. Create content because you want to create content. Don't do it because you want to make money doing it. I mean, that can be one motivation, but if it's your only motivation, you're probably not going to succeed at it because you need to have that like authenticity to you. Or even if you do go and do something like David Bennett Piano or Adam Neely where they're teaching music, all of it's scripted. All of it has B-roll. The edits are really good. They're probably paying someone to edit their videos, honestly, and they're very well researched. All that shit takes time. Like they do that as a full-time job. Like every video is like an 8-hour a day kind of thing, And that's what you have to do if you want to make videos like that. But I don't know about you, but for me, I just don't got the time to do all that. Like there's only so many hours in a week, and there's no way that you can juggle all that shit. Especially like some of you guys are probably living on your own and you're probably working like 2 jobs trying to support yourself. You know what I mean? Or you're working one job and living with roommates, living with a girlfriend, something like that. So like if you're sitting here and you're already working hella hours a week to support yourself, trying to drop another 40 hours a week on top of that to make really professional videos to compete with guys like Adam Neely and David Bennett Piano, it's just unrealistic. And I'm not saying that to like call out those YouTubers in particular. They're just 2 examples of really phenomenal music YouTubers. So they're like the first 2 guys I'm thinking of. And like at the end of the day, how do you think they did it? Do you think they started with the mentality of, I have to treat this like a job, so I'm going to force myself to do it as if it's work until I get better at it? Or do you think they started with the mentality of, I'm going to do this because I really am passionate about what I'm talking about, and they kept being passionate about what they were talking about, and they kept doing it solely because they wanted to do it, and the quality improved alongside that? I think it's the second one personally, and that's going to be my approach to YouTube from here on out. So that might mean I'm not really making videos on music anymore. And if that's the case, so be it. Like, I'm fine with that personally because music's awesome. Music is great, but it's not my job. And I don't really want it to be my job. So I'm not going to make it my job. And same thing with content creation. It's great. I'm sitting here doing it right now, specifically because I want to do it right now. But I don't want to have to make content. I don't want to have to make music. I just want to do them because I like to do them. And so that is exactly what I'm going to do. Leave a like if you would like, and I will catch you next time. Fool.